Hi guys, welcome to another episode of 1 to 60. So this is the first kill that I got. It was a pure just hanging out at the Ferox Enclave just north of it. I got a TB on him and he stood his ground, which fair enough to him, but there's not much you can do against a med level, especially when you're on a pure. I forgot my looting bag, so I came back to loot most of it, but collectively it was 750k. And then I went over to Ice Giants where I found a guy mining rune ore. And also this guy slaying. So the typical kind of types of people that you'll find up here. Both of them had fairly good loot. This guy had, I think, 600 cannonballs, 650, and it turned out to be 431k with a full looting bag already. So those last two clips were in about 10 worlds. I decided to go back to Ice Giants just because it was very active, and I found this pure who I'm pretty sure I've killed multiple times during this series. If it's not him, then it's somebody in very similar gear. He didn't have too much, but we found another guy who was mining runite rocks, so we dispatched that guy. And then also we found this second person who was Skulled, interestingly, and we killed him, and we got a little bit of profit from this one. At this point I was looking for more variety. I was a little bit bored of Ice Giants, so I decided to try out lesser demons. Now these guys are in multi, but I'm glad that I did because I found this level 79 with a mace, and it turns out he was risking a little bit more than that, so we walked away with 580k. So I found one more guy here. It was actually quite dead here, surprisingly. I thought it would be more active than Ice Giants. But yeah, he was anti-PKing, so even though he had a Slayer helm on it, he was trying to fight me back. But we managed to get some consecutive big bolts and then spec him up through prayer. So I had my med level logged out for when I was PKing on my main, and I found this guy who I could attack on my med level, level 88, and he looked like a bit of a bait. I thought he was a TBer, which is why I prayed mage, and I was correct, but I one-ticked the DDS off a D-skim because of the spec bar, and actually killed him. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but then the second guy TB'd me, and a team logged in. So it turns out that that was a Space Nation bait slash T-Bear that I killed, and they weren't too happy with that, but luckily we managed to get out alive and live to see another day. So later on, I was at the Rev Cave entrance. Once again, I don't know why I go here on my med. This is a terrible place to go on a med level. And this guy was running into multi. He didn't really have anything, but sometimes, you know, you just want to send it and decide that you've got big balls. So I just ran in. On my way up to the entrance, this guy attacked me. I have no idea why this guy attacked me or what he was doing. But I accepted the fight and ended up specking him out, and this is what I got. Now, whilst I was looting, this guy, I assume would be Venezuelan, started typing yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought, fuck it, why don't I just send it? I've got 2 left, I'm going to have to go to the bank anyway. And so yeah, I dispatched him as well. So I went back up to the entrance for one more fight, but the thing about the entrance and the area around it is it's low quality in terms of the people you're fighting. You know, they got Addy and stuff like that, but it's high quantity. So if you want a lot of fights, it's good to go here. But if you want to, you know, preserve your supplies and make money, it's not the best. And so after a fight where I used 6 or so brews, I decided that I was going to switch up. So I found this guy hunting chins, and he had some pretty tanky gear, so I was expecting that it would be an anti-PKer, which turned out to be correct. He had a dragon crossbow and also an Armadillo Godsword, but we had him TB'd, and on his way over to Hobgoblins, which is a good way to escape, he went for 100 AGS spec, and we got him back with the heavy ballista. Once again, against my own best advice, I found myself chasing Imrisk at the Rev Cave entrance on a med into multi, chasing 100k PK, but it paid off for us this time. I need to stop doing this or just expect to die because it is literally a death sentence. But yeah, I think we made about 100k off of that one. So a friend and I were waiting for a streamer and his group to come up to the altar. They had quite a lot of numbers and we thought we'd take them on. Meanwhile, this pure who we couldn't attack was part of them, and I had my med level logged out obviously, so I decided to talk to him, ask him a few questions whilst walking up north just to get him further away from the 30 line where he could teleport away, and we were successful with it. So we managed to postpone him long enough, or make him wait long enough for our med level to get there, and then we managed to spec him out for some quite good loot actually, so I was quite happy with it. After that, I finally decided to do my Mage Arena 2 cape again, so this clip just indicates that, and we also had a Laren key to open, and we got diamonds off of that. On the way back up to the Rev Cave, I also found this noob. He was Skulled, so I got on him, why not? But it turns out he didn't have much, but I just thought I'd add it in there for continuity purposes. Dino XX on Twitch was doing a multi event. I think he PKs multi most days, but as you can see, there were a lot of people and there was a big war going on. So I decided to try and capitalize on that. But actually, I got too involved in the actual fighting and trying to win. So I wasn't really focusing on kind of snabbing loot by just staying on one particular person. Although I did get a couple of kills on Pures, so not as much loot as I would have hoped for, or if I was looting potentially, but that didn't matter because I had quite a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, we walked away with just under 200k. I then decided to go back to Chins, and I found somebody that didn't have anything on, but this just goes to show you should always kill people in the wilderness, because he ended up having a cash stack which was 200k, as well as 59 Chins, so actually that was 400k. The next place that I decided to go was Ice Giants. You guys know I love it here. And yeah, Ice Giants are just good to me. Every time I go up here, there's just so much free stuff. Most of these guys as well, even if they don't have 85 mining, have some rune ore, because they would have picked on, let's say a level 50, might pick on a level 3. So the whole ecosystem here, yeah, it's just free rune ore. So yeah, I managed to capitalize on that. And then I just wanted to show you what my bank was looking at, what the bank tab was kind of looking at, the loot tab at least, and just so you can get an idea, because I haven't really shown the bank too much. I head over to the GE and bought a few upgrades. These are upgrades that are going to go towards my kind of cheap max set, and this is going to be the gear that I use to PK in, for example, Edgefield Dungeon, where it's a bit less risky. But nevertheless, we headed back up to Fire Giants, which is a new spot for me. It was actually really active here. It was quite good. There are a lot of people killing Fire Giants who presumably thought they were safe, but because we had NPC aggression timers on, they weren't safe. So yeah, we found a few Rangers up here. The Rangers seem to be risking a fair bit in ammo and cannonballs especially. And then we ultimately found this guy, Training Slayer, who had a lot more risk. He had Revenant Effort at least, but it looked like he wasn't afraid to risk a few items. He tried to run away, but he ran to the east, and we managed to catch him, even though we had to go outside of the aggression zone. So if we ran back in, Fire Giants would have been aggressive to us, but it was worth it. And then we headed over to use the 2 Laren keys that I got from PKing in this area, and this is what I walked away with. After PKing at Greater Demons, I decided to go and check out the South Rev Cave entrance. So there are people here killing Hellhounds, PKs obviously, and then also people killing Green Dragons. And the other type of people that you come across are these guys going to Revs via the Agility shortcut. So I managed to catch this guy who was obviously a Revs PK, who looked like he was risking a fair bit, a couple 100k at least, and we dispatched him. The other people that I found, most of them were doing Slayer, so we got a couple of Laren's keys off of people. I couldn't believe how easy it was to kill these guys. More than one person didn't eat despite having food. And there were a couple of Skulled people as well, although the combat range was a bit frustrating because you can only attack people. Well, it's only 19 wilderness, so it's fairly low wildy. And yeah, I didn't find any PKs except for one guy who teleported. Quite funny in regards to the Dragon Chain Body Kid. He basically re-geared in the exact same world, and I scouted him, so I just waited for him to tele back up and then killed him again. And to end the episode off, I decided to buy myself an Aram's Top to complete the Aram's Top and Bottom set, if you want to call it that, and also the Tharon Staff. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But it gives 5+ mage bonus on an ancient stuff, so it's quite a good +1 to improve your mage if you're going to use a de-skimming. And that's it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It motivates me to make more of these. And yeah, if you've got any suggestions for me or anything like that, drop it in the comments. Peace.